Oh, well, hello there. How are y'all doing today? Hello, world. I really just wanted to go a different direction with today's vlog. You know, we're going to be shooting a lot of vlogs in the upcoming time coming up. And I just really wanted to make sure that I go in a different direction with every vlog, because I look at myself as a complex person, not to talk about myself, but there are a lot of different sides towards me. So I want to make sure that, you know, I show the side that I like to do at night, you know, the ignorant side, a lot of what I like to do and whatnot. But I also want to show what else I have going on all the time. And one thing I really like to do it a lot is to read. And I figured I'd do some vlogs every once in a while, maybe talking about a different book and whatnot, maybe starting my own kind of book club or anything, but we'll see. I'm going to start my own series of vlogs, maybe heading in that direction. But I really just wanted to go into a book that I read actually probably a few months ago, but it really stuck with me as far as, like, I like to read about a lot of different things, but I really like to read about black people, and I really like nonfiction. But anyway, this book really, when I actually saw it in the bookstore, the actual title of it inspired, well, not inspired me, but struck with me. And I know people feel different ways about the actual word conspiracy, but here we go. The book is actually called Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. And so, you know, I'm going to see if we can get a little zoom in, but it was, this is actually the series. I guess this guy who's written it, let me see, I'm so sorry, but the guy who actually wrote it, I can't even pronounce his name, but Jawanza Kunjufi. But I know I probably hacked this whole name up. But anyway, I'm just going to move on. But the actual book, when I bought it, it was great. And I just want to share a few facts with people about the book. But it was crazy because the book actually starts out describing the word genocide. And genocide is the deliberate and systematic destruction of a racial, political, or cultural group. And you know how the book titled Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys, he also just goes into the actual describing the word conspiracy, which you know, describes certain aspects of our society in a strong indictment against the social fabric of this country. And the actual word conspiracy, like, I know people are going to actually have trouble with the title of the book, but it's hard to describe this actual what's going on in any other kind of way. Like, some of us already know what I'm going to actually go into is going on, but some of us maybe don't know. But, you know, he gives reasoning behind the actual title for the book, and I just like to ask questions, and he asks a lot of questions starting out this book, and I was wondering, I'm going to go through a couple of questions with you all. Can you explain how less than 10% of the world's population, which is white, own over 70% of the world's wealth? That's pretty self-explanatory, but when you hear the 10% of the world's population, equivalent white, own over 70% of the world's wealth, that's, you know. Can you explain how every United States president has been a white male? And obviously this book was written before Obama, but, you know, I'm not even going to go into any of that. But is there a relationship between Africans being labeled 3/5 of a person and their median income being the same fraction in comparison to whites? So, yes. Actually, I think this is actually part of, I might be wrong in going back on this, but I don't know all of history, but back then there was a 3/5 compromise. Well, I'm going to move on. But why did some whites feel the need to physically castrate African American males? They used to cut off our penises and actually have them up hanging in their houses. But was it an accident that all the men that constituted the Tuskegee experiment were African American and they possessed syphilis and went untreated by the U.S. Center for Disease Control for 40 years? And real quickly, the Tuskegee experiment, they actually were doing research on the disease syphilis, the STD syphilis, and they actually took a lot of black people who already had syphilis and they worked on them to find the cure for syphilis. They ended up finding the cure for syphilis, but they never even treated any of these black people that had it. They just let them go out and give it to whoever else. But is it ironic that only 2 white persons have ever received the death penalty for killing an African American? I didn't look that up, but I'm pretty sure that's probably right. But are the videotapes of racial discrimination as shown on national television in housing, banking, employment, and shopping a figment of our imagination? Think of everything in the mass media that you see about black people. It's pretty bad. Well, anyway, Is it an accident that African American males comprise 6% of the U.S. population but represent 35% of the special education children and half of the inmates? 6%, 35% of special education, and half, 50% of all inmates. Is it an accident that on average a white male with a high school diploma earns more than anyone else in America on average with a college degree? It's pretty self-explanatory. Is it luck that 1% of the U.S. population owns 40% of the wealth and greater than 99% of them are white? That's something that people need to know, that there's really, I can't name them right now. I think one of them was Viacom, Paramount, AOL. Well, some of the, depending on, I can't name them exactly, but there's really only 3 companies that control everything that you actually see that goes on. Well, anyway, was it ironic that the FBI used their program, I hope I pronounce this right, might be wrong, but I should know about this, but COINTELPRO, to infiltrate African American organizations with their stated objectives to create internal conflict and prevent a Masonic leader? And yeah, COINTELPRO was used to, I think that's who infiltrated the Black Panthers and other different organizations and whatnot. But that's all I'm going to talk about for this blog. But I really want to go into part 2 about this blog, because there are other things that I wanted to say about this book. But it was really a good read, as far as, because at first, when the title itself is very controversial, but when you get into it, I mean, can anybody really answer all those questions? That's how I always look at stuff. Like, I have my opinion on different things, but I really just want to, I really did this vlog just to start a dialogue on, because these are the type of things that interest me, whether this is the type of stuff I like to talk about. And I feel like once we start talking about it, then maybe actions can be done to actually do stuff about this. Because I know my plan is to, when I get out of school, I'm going to plan to actually do stuff about this. Whether it's doing some Huey P. Newton type, Malcolm X type thing, but that's going into a whole nother thing. But that's after I finish my education. So I just want to start a dialogue to talk about it now and get different people's opinions on it, and just, yeah. But it's just something we should all talk about. I want to hear different people's opinions on it, and just let me know. And sorry I taught y'all to death, but that's the end. And be on the lookout for another probably ignorant video I'm going to drop next week, because you know I still be up with crazy shit. But yeah. But MDMA Entertainment, Souljified ENT, On Time Entertainment, yeah. Oh, I want to give a shout out to my dog D5. He down there making beats. Want to shout out DJ Skillum. He down there doing his radio show thing. You stream him. I haven't even got to see it yet, but I heard it's really good. Shout out Prime Daniels, Eddie B, my dog Chad, my dog Mark Mo. But yeah, that's on some other shit. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all next time on the next vlog. Y'all be safe.